Hi, everybody. As usual, I never have a topic, but I've been listening to restaurants getting slammed, somebody else getting hammered. It's been a very negative morning today. The weather had something to do with it. It was dampening, but now our spirits are really high because the sun is up and the Indian summer smiling back on my face. So before I start, and I don't want to go anywhere down the negative route, can anybody give me a topic that I can talk about? Come on, please. Curry! Ah, brilliant. Who did that shouting there? He must be a football supporter somewhere in the crowd. Curry, that's not my name, but okay, let's go on curry. For one thing, everybody here, I guess about 200 people standing up, please do not call Indian food curry. We Indians don't understand curry as you understand curry. Curry to me means something in a lot of sauce, predominantly only made with coconut milk. If there's no coconut milk, it doesn't mean curry to me. Okay? And curries only exist around the coastal regions of India and Southeast Asia. You go into the hinterlands of the countries and there are no curries. They don't understand the word curry. But in Britain, everybody seems to know what a curry is. So you go for a chicken tikka. Somebody mentioned chicken tikka. Pizza, for instance. Okay, chicken tikka is not a curry. So I'm glad you brought the topic up. Curries must have coconut milk. Curry means a South Indian word called kari, which simply means cooked in a lot of sauce. More seafood, poultry perhaps, not many other things because curries will split. Fact that they have coconut milk in it. So that's curry for you. So next time you go to an Indian restaurant, please don't say curry. Ask for the name of the dish. It's classical. All items are classical. If you eat something there, yes, the bhuna gosht, for instance, it is mutton. Okay, but I've eaten lamb by mistake. Lord Newberry is somewhere here. He won't be very happy. There, he's right in the front. All the lamb I use comes from his estate. It's all organic. And I'm sure they breed it with a lot of passion. The bangers are Duroc and Landrace, is it? Or Great White, whatever. Duroc, Landrace and Tamworth. There are three breeds that go in. Again, it's organic. And there's a couple of questions about what restaurants do and they hype things up. It's a very difficult balance to draw today. I'll give you a small example. One of the things that happens is everybody demands that Indian food has to be cheap and cheerful. Okay, the British public has been spoilt by this price war between Chinese Indian restaurants and they demand the food to be cheap. You are the victims of that cheap crap. Let me tell you that. You demand cheap food, the restaurant delivers cheap raw materials. We are all here talking about great Welsh produce, great British produce, great vegetables, great things. People buy rubbish. I know restaurateurs that go after 10 o'clock to Spitalfields Market in London and pick up onions from the floor that have been rejected for £2 a bag. Okay, now we pay a lot of money for our lamb. This man is making money, I'm sure. Are you not? You are not, are you? Every farmer always has problem. I'm just making a joke of it. Okay? It's always got problem. I'm just making a joke. But the thing is that we pay good solid money. And if I'm paying good solid money, I cannot give you something cheap. Really, if you want quality, you got to pay for it. Somebody has another topic. You picked up a topic, didn't you? Someone said something in my ears. Was it mutton?
Yeah, mutton.
Was it mutton? Mutton. Okay, passionate subject for me. I am part of Prince Charles's Mutton Renaissance Committee. And unfortunately or fortunately, but the fortunate thing is that a lot has been done to bring mutton back on the menus of restaurants. Chefs are playing with it. And more and more British people are now seeking mutton. I think it's brilliant. We want to kill a tiny little animal because we're all hooked on lamb. But mutton has more flavor. The animals had a better life. And when it comes to the table, you can sense it in the beef, in the lamb. Just like British veal. I wish more people in Britain would start eating veal again. And British, please don't buy European veal. It is rubbish. You buy British, it's the best in the world. Okay, like all our produce, it's the best in the world. British veal is called rose veal, if most of you know. A lot of it is bred around this part of England, Britain as well, in the southwest and southeast. And the animal gets to live for 2 years before it is slaughtered. On the continent, the animal doesn't live for more than 6 months, maximum. Much less than that because they like it white. Ours is pink. And it is it is a very important thing that we should all consume more wheat because we support the farming community. 50,000 animals are shot at birth every year. More. 50,000 are accounted for, but more are shot at birth because the farmer doesn't have the money to look after the male calf. I don't know if people know that. And there are about 500,000 kids being shot. Sorry, not kids. Someone's going to get me for this. Kid goats, because of the rise in the demand for goat's milk cheese, we are shooting kid goats. Okay, because there's no money for them, there's no value for them, they can't sell the carcass afterwards. And this is something that British public need to educate themselves about. It's all about education. The more we educate ourselves, the more we can support this community. Why should we buy foreign? Why should we buy imported products when the best is right at our doorsteps? I'm the only Indian restaurant in the country who is a member of the Welsh Lamb Club, incidentally. Okay, so I'm very proud of the fact that I use Welsh. I'm proud of the fact that I use a lot of produce from this part of the world. And I think we should all support everything that comes from our doorstep. Thank you all very much. Enjoy yourselves. And please come and have some lamb and sausages. And burgers, sorry. Thank you. Bye-bye.